Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis. My co-host today, Mr. Charlie Richardson. We are excited to have you here. We have an awesome live show lined up for you. Today, we're going to be talking about Website Security 101, simple cybersecurity for yourself and your clients. You guys are going to love this. We're going to take your questions. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do some shark shout outs. I'm going to introduce you to Charlie. You're going to get to know a little bit more about him. We're just going to have a good time. So I'm going to cue up the intro, grab a cool drink. We'll see you back here in one momento.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Oh man, Charlie, listen to that crowd. They are fired up.
Unbelievable.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. Man, awesome. Let me check the comments here. I got to see who all is on here. Dorn, what's up, buddy? Patty Ratowski in the house. Welcome, Jules. I see these Facebook users. Whoever this is, if you grant StreamYard permission, then we can see your smiling face and your picture and know who you are. So what's up, Howard? Welcome. Maddie, welcome. David, welcome. Excited to have you guys all here. James, what's up? Happy Friday. Another week in the books, right? Lots of stuff going on. So awesome. Well, look, I'm excited about today's live show because I'm really excited to introduce you guys to a new addition to our Offline Sharks Remote Millionaires family. This is Mr. Charlie Richardson. Let's give him a big round of applause. Welcome, a big hello. Aloha.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Yeah, man, excited to have you here. So why don't you tell it? Well, first of all, where are you located?
So I'm across the pond, as some people would say. I come from the Holy United Kingdom.
The UK, awesome. Bringing a little international flavor to the live show. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. You know, bringing Britain to America. Here you go. That's
right. We like getting it in there. You know, we have quite a few really big action takers in the UK. There's Dan Lesser, who you've probably seen inside Remote Millionaires, and then Jacqueline Heath as well. They're over there in the UK. Yeah, you know, Nick and I were scheduled to go to the UK, and then COVID hit.
No.
Like we were supposed to go there for a mastermind. They had rented a castle somewhere outside the UK, and we were going to go hang out for a few days. And like, I was going to take the family. We were all excited, and then COVID came, and we couldn't.
That's unfortunate. You're gonna have to rearrange. You know, you got to come see a castle in the UK.
yeah, we had to do that. So awesome. Well, you know, Charlie, I know the Sharks probably want to know a little bit about you. So let's see, I'm 50. You're probably close to my age, right?
Yeah, not too far off that. Yeah.
So go ahead, Charlie.
I'm 19.
19. Well, but so this is interesting why we brought Charlie in, because I met Charlie in another Facebook group, and Charlie had an agency in the UK for a while. He's got an agency now focusing on sales, but he had a local agency as well. Yeah. I'm curious, like, what was the so I mean, that's super impressive, right? 19, getting clients, doing the local agency thing. It warmed my heart when I saw your post about that. I was like, oh, I got to reach out to this guy because, like, this is awesome. But like, what kind of who was your first client? What kind of business was your first client?
My first client was just a small, but like it was literally a bar, like a pub sort of thing in the UK. Just made like a basic website for them. That was my first ever client. Yeah.
That was your first client, and it just kind of sprang from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know one of the things that we talked about early on when we were first talking is like you really liked the the sales aspect of bringing in clients and all that stuff, and you had success there, it was kind of the fulfillment side of things that created some issues and problems, right?
Yeah, and it's a funny thing because I got started because I knew really basic how to do websites because I was good in school. I knew how to make a website, and I thought, oh, that's the part I'm good at. And then once I realized like what it actually takes, the whole fulfillment and everything behind it, I realized it wasn't so easy.
Yeah, it can be a challenge for sure, but super impressive that you're, doing that. And, one of the things that impressed me about Charlie, the reason we brought him on is you're going to see Charlie a lot in the group. You've probably seen his posts in there about things we're doing. He's one of our new group ambassadors, right? Charlie's going to be in the Facebook group. He has been like, I've been super impressed with your ability to absorb all the information that we have thrown at you, right? Because like his really role in the Facebook group is to help you guys find answer to your questions, point you in the right direction, help you, kind of like flesh out issues you may be having, and then, point you in the right direction of how we fix those and what we're doing in our agency to fix those, what other members are doing to fix them. So really excited to have you in the group. I've been loving the posts you've been putting up and seeing all the engagements. Really, really great.
Yeah, likewise myself. I've been happy to help people. It's a great feeling, be able to wake up and help people and help people solve their problems in their agency.
Yeah, well, I think that's so important, right? The desire, the drive to help people. It's I said this before on the live show, but like when I when I was first getting into local marketing, like I was just trying to make some money, right? Like I just wanted to make some money. I had this skill set that I thought I can use this to make some money. And it wasn't really until, I'm just kind of thick-headed. Eventually I got the picture that like, look, the way that you do that is by helping those people. Right. And I think I mentioned it on last week's show. I heard Grant Cardone say, he was like, look, stop worrying about where you're going to get your money and start worrying about how they're going to get their money. And that's really how you flourish and thrive in business. And we found that to be the case in the agency. The more we focus on our clients and delivering results and doing all that kind of stuff, the better the agency does. In fact, we've had a goal over the past few years to bring, like we were scaling. For those of you who are maybe new to our community, when we first started this whole thing, the agency we had was doing about 100K a year. And our goal was to scale it, right? Like we wanted to get to 300, 400, 500. We did that. And then in this last year, we're like, look, we want to take that next step and hit that 7-figure mark. And so for those of you that have kind of been following along or watching, or maybe you're new, currently, right, the agency just this year, just in 2023, this is just the agency. So this has nothing to do with what we do in Offline Sharks. It's an entirely separate business, but it's done about $886,000 in revenue. So by the end of the year, we're projecting we're going to hit 1.2, 1.3 million. So, and that's just based on our retainer income, right? And I know everybody always asks this question, so I'm going to blow this up so I can see this on here. But here, let me blow this up so I can show you guys this. Because, whenever we talk about the agency and the revenue, or the revenue in the agency, the first question we always get from people is like, wow, that's great, but like what do you actually make, right? So look, I'm going to show you guys this. This is a profit sheet that I had. Hold on, let me blow this up. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on.
Nothing there just yet.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta technical wizard, Charlie. I am not.
You'll get there.
I will get there. I don't know.
You've got to believe in yourself, Tom.
Yes, I will. Okay, there we go. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen. So this is a screenshot of the agency revenue so far this year. I know this is really hard to see, but you guys can see $885,288 total income. Gross profit, $418,861. So, not only are we hitting our revenue goals with the agency, but our profitability is staying really high. And we do that using all of the tactics and strategies that we talk about here in Offline Sharks, right? We've done it through automation with not just software, but also with building out our team. And, currently our main focus in the agency is retention and growing and all that kind of stuff. So even with, we're on Maui, the agency's on Maui, we deal with Hawaii businesses. So even with the fires that happen there, the things that are there, like, we're in a really good position this year, mainly because of the systems, the processes, the things that we've put underneath. And, that's the kind of stuff, for those of you that may be new out there, that we share in the group, that we share in the courses that we put out, and also that we really, dive deep into and help our Remote Millionaires members implement. So I wanted to give you guys a little update there. Let me see if I'm missing anything else about what's going on in the agency. I don't know why this was like, it let me blow it up and then it was like giving me issues. Okay, there we go.
Always the way.
Yeah. So there's that. One of the other things that happened in the agency recently, and one of the reasons we're, the topic we have for the live show today is the agency website got hacked again. So a while back it got hacked, and we really hadn't put any emphasis on security for the website. Like, we just did some very basic things. And so for those of you that don't know, one of Nick's brothers was in the military doing cybersecurity. And so we asked Nick's brother to help us. Like, we wanted to fix the hack, and then we wanted to secure the site. Nothing can be 100% secure, right? As witness, because again, we had an issue with I can't remember exactly what the hack was. It had something to do with the redirect. We noticed it because we track our SEO rankings at the agency. As you guys know, we get a lot of inbound clients because we rank high for Maui SEO, Hawaii SEO, all those types of things. And we noticed that some of our keywords are dropping. And when we looked, it was a cyber attack. And so, we went back, we fixed it. We're getting all those rankings back. But the things that we did to fix it, we didn't have to panic this time, right? Like, we knew exactly what to do. And the reason we knew what to do is because we had Nick's brother put a course together for us on how to secure a website, what to do when they get hacked, all that kind of stuff. And we did a training on it. We've actually been emailing about this. So if you guys haven't watched that training yet, I would encourage you to go and watch it. You'll see, exactly what we're doing, those types of things. It's I think there's a link. Hold on. If you go to offlinesharks.com secure, don't watch it now, but after the live show, take a look at the training. It's got a lot of really great information from a security expert in there, and Nick talking about that, what happened, all that kind of stuff. And we decided, like, man, we haven't talked about that course in a long time because we haven't had any issues, right? Like, we fixed the problem. We've just been trudging forward. And then the other day I saw one of our Shark members in the group had a client who had a website hacked, which is a pretty common problem, right? So in this training, we show you what we do to secure those sites, lock them down, and then also how we can offer this as an additional service, right? Or as an add-on to websites we're building, tracking that in. So you guys are definitely going to want to check that out. Website Security Blueprint. That's the name of the course. It is a really awesome course. So yeah. Oh, hey, Frank, happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So we'll talk about this a little more. We'll take some questions and some things like that. We always like to start the shows, Charlie's, with some shout outs. So I'm going to pull up the Shark shout outs. We're going to do those, and then we'll get into kind of this. So here we go. This wasn't coming up earlier. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Okay. All right. Blow this up. Share my screen. Oh, went away. Okay, so let's do some Shark shout outs and celebrate some wins. So first up, Fletcher Horton, one of our Remote Millionaires members, closed on a new website, down payment of $2,500 received. Congratulations, Fletcher. And look, when we build websites, we try to add on additional things, right? Security is one of those things. When we finish the website, we talk to them about recurring SEO, paid ads, that type of stuff. So awesome work, Fletcher. Don't let those opportunities pass you by there. Kristen Bedard, who's also a Remote Millionaires member, picked up a website job with her neighbor, startup site for her therapy, dog-based wellness, and counseling service, $1,000. Charlie, I think that's a good reminder, right? Like, that's her neighbor. right? Sometimes we forget, like, the people around us need help, right?
Exactly.
So I know I picked up a client one time standing in line at the bank. He was a handyman.
Nice.
I've gotten clients from people that have come to my house to do work. And, you know, look, just don't rule. I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is don't rule out your social circle, right?
Yeah, Tom, I got a client on holiday in Prague.
On holiday in Prague?
I was on holiday in Prague. I met a guy at the hotel, and I did a website for him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It just shows you, as you say, you know, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, you never know who you're going to run into and what you're going to do. So awesome work, Kristen. Awesome work. Next up, we've got Brandon Stewart. So Brandon launched his Reach Machine. He's only been running it for 2 days. He sent out 200 emails, but he has 20 people accepting the free offer. That is so awesome to see, Brandon, man. Congratulations. 20 hot leads. He's working to follow up with those leads, all that stuff. So really, really great work. And then at the agency, you know, one of the things, so look, there's lots of layers to what we do in the agency, right? There's the client side, the fulfillment side, the systems, the processes side. Hence why we created Remote Millionaires, right? Because there's so many layers of things that go on in the agency on a daily basis. One of the things that we use at the agency for our billing is Square. So we bill our clients through Square. And now that our billing is getting in the higher revenue numbers, we actually reached out to Square and said, hey, we're doing some volume, right? Like, can you guys work with us on the fee that you charge for these processes? And so we reached out to Square. We talked to one of their reps, and they actually lowered our Square processing fee. I don't know if who on this call didn't know you could do that. Did anybody know you could do that?
I didn't know you could do that, Tom. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can actually do this with other providers as well. Stripe, PayPal. When you start doing some volume, they're willing to work with you. So the deal we struck with Square actually translates into an $8,000 a year savings. So $8,000 straight to the bottom line. We didn't have to get a client. We didn't have to do any fulfillment. All we had to do was pick up the phone and say, hey, can we work on this fee, right? So, you know, good job to the agency team over there for doing that, putting that in place. I think our operations manager on that side, Tim, did that. So awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So for those of you that are keeping track at home, that brings the combined total of $3,500 for the week of October 14th through the 20th. A grand total of $1,227,194 since the start of 2023 that you have closed in business and shared in the Facebook group. So congratulations, everybody. Excellent, excellent work.
That's good. Big
yeah,
numbers.
really, really awesome stuff. You know, one other thing I wanted to share with you guys too. So Patty, let me address this and then we'll talk about this next thing. So people want to know, no baby news yet. So the baby was due on October 17th. And so far, she's been resistant. So I have Nick on speed dial to let me know what's going on. So so far, no new addition to the Ponte team yet over there. So I have a feeling she's going to come out building websites. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Definitely.
We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Maybe we should teach her to walk first before we start how to build it, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess then the cat's out of the bag on what the baby's going to be, right? Now you guys know. Awesome. Well, one of the things I wanted to share with you guys too on today's call is, you know, we share a lot of the wins that our Remote Millionaires members do inside the group and traction that they're getting and other people in the group. But I don't know if you know this, but we also have been interviewing people in the group with the successes that they're having. And I don't know if you guys have seen Big Al posting in our main Facebook group a lot, but he is crushing it in Remote Millionaires. And we actually did an interview with him. And I'm gonna put this link up. You guys can open this open this in another browser. Again, watch this after. If you go to remotemmillionaires.com, Big Al, you're going to see, I mean, this guy is a driving force. Like, he has been like head down, just pushing forward. He's been in RM for 3 months, and his income since he joined RM is never below $5,000 a week. So 3 months to hit $5,000 a week. It's a really awesome interview. He talks about what he's doing, how he's doing it, all that kind of stuff. So I would encourage you guys, if you're looking for some inspiration, if you're like, man, like, what is it like to start hitting those kind of numbers? Go to remotemmillionaires.com/Big Al. Watch that interview. It's really good. He's been doing a ton of stuff in the group. He's in the kind of restaurant hotel space. So really interesting what he's got going on there and the traction he's been getting and all that stuff. So, and Cameron, I know, or somebody from the team, you guys can drop that in the chat, in the comments as well, so people can go see that. Awesome.
He doesn't stop.
He doesn't. He's just like been like action. And, you know, it's interesting. I've been working with him this last week because he's, you know, when you're trying to get traction and build and grow the agency, right? It's really about layering your momentum. You know, you start reaching out, you start getting some traction, and then you're constantly looking at like, well, how can I improve that? What can I do better? If your numbers aren't matching up to what you expect, what can I change? And that's one of the powerful things in RM, right? Is that people have access to us and our team, and we can help them identify those things, right? So Al has been sending out some Loom prospecting videos. And so this past week, he's been posting test videos inside RM, and I've been giving him some feedback on things I would change and stuff I would do there. So if any of you out there are doing Loom videos, I think that's a great idea. Like, find somebody else in the group or post them in the group and like just do them. You don't have to send them out to the client, but like maybe get a little bit of feedback. It can help you get results a little faster.
Sure. It's a great idea.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Okay, what's up next? Oh, let's talk about this. Here, what happened? I think I closed the wrong thing. Here we go.
Not been working with technology today, have you, Tom?
No, it's first day with my new hands. So what the heck? Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about this Cybergeddon training we did, right? So I'm going to share my screen again here. And when you guys go, to the link right here, when you go to this link, offlinesharks.com/secure, you're going to land on this page. And I just want to talk a little bit about kind of what we cover in the training. It's a free training. Just go register, right? But on here, Nick talks about how you can protect your website and online presence from hackers and scammers. We talk about the most common problem areas hackers and scammers look for in a victim, right? Sometimes it's very simple things like just your login link to your website. Like having a custom login link can deter, certain things. And then how to easily protect yourself from 90% of the hacks. And then we even show you how to turn around and charge your clients $300 or more to set up the website security for them. Or like I mentioned before, you can add it as an extra onto your website packages. So definitely head over to offlinesharks.com/secure. Check that out. I'm going to stop sharing that screen. I just wanted to show you guys that. And yeah, let's take some questions. Let me go in the group here.
Let's do it. I mean, how can you say no to that though, Tom? How can you say no to, to add your security onto your offer?
No, it's something we don't talk about a lot, right? But it is like a critical step in what you're doing with your websites and especially with your clients, because there's nothing worse. When you're building websites and something happens to the website and it gets hacked, they're going to come to you, right? And you want to be able to help them, right? It's good if you can set some things up to prevent the majority of the bad things that can happen. But even better if when they show up, you can help them get that stuff back. So I know Jacqueline has been going through this with a client whose website got hacked, and she's been rebuilding the site for them. So this is interesting. And I think Jacqueline can maybe talk about this in the comments, but the website got hacked and they came back. And so they asked Jacqueline to rebuild it. So she's rebuilding the site for them. Luckily, she saved all of the stuff. She has everything to do that. So awesome. And I see Jacqueline. Speaking of Jacqueline, she said she's doing Loom videos. She took the plunge this week. She said she's got 2 videos on Monday equals 1 appointment Monday next. That's awesome, Jacqueline.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, having admin as the username definitely makes it easier. Yeah. But you know how often do you just not think about that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Frankie says, nice to have a fellow Englander to move to the US 7 years ago. Awesome. So what part of the UK are you in, Charlie?
Okay, so the easiest way I'm going to say, so I'm from Lincolnshire, which is in the East Midlands. No one ever knows where it is. So if you can figure out where London is, just go north for about 2 hours in a car, and that's where I am. I'm just above London.
Gotcha. So, just above London.
Just above London.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me take a look at this question. It says, can you address some of the that is a question that I am not qualified to answer.
I still saw that one. Oh.
Hold on. Let me
this is not legal advice.
Yeah, let me look at this. Hold on. Maybe I can help you out here real quick. Oh, okay. So I think you're talking about maybe so is Swift? Is that what you're asking me about there?
SWAT.
Where did it go? I said it says SWIT.
He meant SWAT.
SWAT.
Does that help anymore?
SWAT. Are you talking about like insurance that you can buy for like cyber hacks and things like that? We'll have to wait till we get an answer there, but yeah. Hold on, let me talk. Let me take a look here and see, because we do have that.
Whole strength, weaknesses, opportunity. Oh, that's left me out now. There it is. Thank you, Sam. Threats.
Oh, so kind of like when you do like a SWOT analysis. I thought you were maybe talking about like some type of specific thing, right? Yeah. Swift is a type of insurance that you can get to protect yourself and your business against like security breaches and things like that. There's, if you're taking credit card data, things like that, there's types of liability insurance you can get for that. But I gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Gotcha. I'm with you now. So like a standard SWOT analysis. Like sometimes we do SWOT analysis on lots of different things. Like maybe we'll do a SWOT analysis on, our business or something like that. So, okay. All right. I think I'm with you now. All right. Well, let's talk about like, what are, some of the weaknesses of a website? We talked about one, right? Your login link for your admin access. Now, there are a lot of different security plugins, especially if you have a WordPress site. There's some really good security plugins out there, some free ones that you can, look up, take a look at them, the reviews, how often they're updated, all that stuff, and install those. And it'll help you solve some of those problems, like create a custom link, make sure your username isn't admin, those types of things. Because a lot of times what hackers will do is they will just search like a URL thread /admin, because that's kind of like the default that WordPress puts up. And so that's how they identify sites that aren't set up with that. So a lot of times you can protect yourselves just by not having that be your login link, right? Making sure your passwords are good, making sure they're changed often, right? The other thing that definitely recommend you do, if you're not doing this to your sites right now, you absolutely should be backing them up on a regular basis, right? That's also something, that kind of gets just sort of like, oh, everybody should know to do that. I didn't know to do that in the beginning. Like, you want to make sure that you're backing up your sites regularly, that you're keeping those. So if something does happen, and here's the key to that, you want to keep a couple of backups, right? Because sometimes what can happen and what hackers will do. And we've had this happen with clients. Updraft Pro is the one that I use for a lot of my sites, right? So one of the things that can happen is if a site gets infected, like they find some weakness inside WordPress. So there's another one. So let's start here. Your login link for your admin, right? These plugins will, oh, look, how did it put that little bubble there?
How have you done that?
How did that happen? That was interesting. I've never seen that before. Okay, so changing your login link. A lot of the security plugins will do that for you. So it will create a random link that you then use to access your site. So I saw somebody said, well, if it's not /admin, what do you change it to? So it will help you create that and make it random so somebody can't just find it, right? Making sure your username is unique, your password is strong. Those are good. WordPress, though, you know, hackers are constantly working to find vulnerabilities inside WordPress. So another big part of security is the basics is just making sure your WordPress is up to date. You would be amazed at how many clients you will go to and they haven't updated their WordPress in a long time, which is a bad security threat. So just making sure that your WordPress sites are up to date is another one, right? Making sure you're backing up regularly and you're keeping, you know, you're keeping multiple backups, because what can happen is a hacker will inject the site with some malicious coding. You might be able to go in and fix it, but you delete the site and you restore from a backup and you don't realize that that malicious code is already in the backup. And so the minute you get the site right back,
they've got access.
It's already there, right? So that's why you want to have more than one like backups over time. That way you can try to pinpoint, well, when was this added, and have a backup before that, right? Now, you do lose some updates and changes you may be made, but that's like a lot less of a pain to fix than having to start over from scratch, right? Making sure the plugins are up to date. That's another really good one, right? There's I'm trying to think of what the plugin is that I use over at one of my sites. I forget the name of it. I can look it up here real quick and give you guys, because there's a pretty, here we go. Oops, that was the wrong one. Let me look at this and I can tell you a couple of ones that we've used over the, I can see the logo of the thing, but I can't remember what the name is of it. Hold on, let me find it here. I'm gonna find it. WordFence. WordFence is one. There's an all-in-one WordPress security and firewall. If you just do a Google search, Updraft Plus also has some security features built into it, right? That's a good thing. Another thing that you can do as well is run your sites through something like Cloudflare. So Cloudflare has like an uptime monitor and will help you some things like that. Like we run some sites through that. So that's another layer, right? That separates the site from what they can do.
Yeah, Tom, I just saw Chandra say about he's getting a lot of registration from spammers. One I know, obviously, capture. Just basic things like that can stop a lot of like a volume of spammers getting into your site, into your forms.
Yeah, capture can definitely do it. The other one too, it's on every WordPress install, but like I think you have to pay to activate it. Isn't it called like Estimate? I think that's what that one does too.
Got you.
Yeah, so there's a plugin. I think it's on every like basic WordPress install that you do. It's one of the plugins that they install from their end, but it's called Akismet. I was saying it wrong. Akismet.
Yeah.
And it's like an anti-spam plugin, and it's super. It's inexpensive. I used to never activate it, but now I activate it on all my sites because it can help a lot with that as well.
For sure.
Yep, that's the one, Regina. You got it. That's the way you spell it. But it says on their site, you say it, Akismet. So let me see. It says, let me talk about this. Let's see. My agency site got hacked with some Japanese malware thing, and I didn't know if my backups were also infected or not. I ended up rebuilding the site. Yeah, that can happen, Sandy. That can happen. Yep, Updraft Plus. So Frankie says she uses Updraft Plus, Cloudflare, and CAPTCHA. So all three of those things pretty good, right?
That's always the best way, isn't it? Just mix, don't just use one. If you can use multiple, that's always going to be your best way.
Yeah, it can definitely help. David says you can get a free license for personal sites at anti-comment spam, but not for business ones, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one too. Thanks, David, for bringing this up. David said also force your clients to use strong passwords. Like clients want to use things they can remember, right? And I'm with you, David. You're like, hey, can I get access to your website? And they send you over the username and password. And you're like, this is your username and password? Basically the URL. Yeah. We've had a lot of those. Speaking of usernames and passwords, a question we get a lot about this, and it's not necessarily related about security to the site, but this can be with security to your team. If you're working with clients, they may not feel comfortable sharing their username and password with you, right? Or, they might want to know well, who on your team is going to have access to these things? Or maybe you don't feel comfortable sharing that, right? Because maybe, team members come, team members go. So we use LastPass so that they can share the passwords and usernames without us actually knowing what they are. So we have them set up a LastPass account, add their usernames and passwords, and then share them with us. And then that allows us to share them with our various outsourcers and team members without anyone actually having to get the password, right? So, but the other way around that is to just tell them to change their password, and you give them the password, and then when the build is over, you ask them to change it again, right? Yeah. I'm not sure who this is, but it says main WP has several built-in security features, tools, great for managing multiple sites. Yep. There's also, gosh, man, I'm terrible with the names of things today. Charlie?
They're on the tip of your tongue.
Charlie, it's old age. It's old age. Because there is manage WP. So, manage WP is a one dashboard where you can manage multiple WordPress websites. And when you're dealing with a lot of clients, or if you are charging your clients for hosting and maintenance and stuff like that, a tool like Manage WP can really be a lifesaver, because you can log in to one dashboard, and then you can update multiple WordPress installs. You can update plugins on multiple sites. You can, but see it all in one place, right? So you can back up multiple sites from one dashboard. So if you're managing multiple clients that way, you should probably you might want to look into something like that as well.
Definitely. Save you an ungodly amount of time.
Yes. It does. I used to have a WP manager with a bunch of sites. It was just made it really super easy.
Yeah.
I've never used Jetpack. I know Chandra's asking about Jetpack, so I've never used that. So Patty says, is it true that if our sites were HTML and not WordPress, that they could not be hacked? If yes, is there a way to do agent music? So Patty, you can still hack an HTML site, right? They can. So there are different levels of hacking, right? So there is, a lot of times the way that they get in is through WordPress, and WordPress works off databases, but any website, even built with HTML, they can also get in through your hosting.
Exactly.
Right. So just because the site is HTML does not make it invincible. People can still get in. And, the reason you see so many hacks with WordPress is because it's the prevalent website builder out there, right? If everybody switched to HTML, you would see a ton of HTML hacks, because they would figure out a way, right? They're investing time and energy into that. So let's see. Somebody said they use Jetpack ASI. Jacqueline said that Akismet does a lot more than you think, and she was impressed after doing a bit of research. Awesome. Yep. Yeah. Somebody said password 1 is easy. They didn't share their name because that's probably, is that your password? You don't want to be that, right? And for those of you that use Exagio, which is a tool that we've promoted in the past, it has a one-click updates on all the sites that you manage there too.
Nice.
Yeah, ransomware. I mean, there's so many different types of attacks that people can do, right? I think that's why it's a good idea for you guys to you should at some point, if not today, over the weekend, whatever, go over, watch the training, offlinesharks.com/secure. Nick goes through a lot of those things. And then the course, the website security blueprint, which has a really a lot of great information on how to fix these problems and what to do. And then also, how you can use that to sell to clients and things like that. I think we have it on special right now for $97. So, I mean, it's super inexpensive and definitely worth it, right? Definitely worth it. David says, have you heard of Hide My WP Ghost? No, I have not heard of that. I have not heard of that one, David. Awesome. I see another line for Exagio. That's great. Yeah, look, a lot of things have been breached out there, right? I know LastPass gets a bad rep out there. We've used it without any issues. So Frankie said, I used Hide My Website, never found it again. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that you definitely want to do, so I know somebody said multi-security plugins can conflict and make you vulnerable. Yeah, compatibility of plugins, things like that, definitely for sure. Some of the things that I look for when, a lot of it too is just kind of doing your due diligence when you're building the site. So what do I mean by that, right? Like a lot of people will just search for a plugin and just install them when they find something that does what they want. But it's really a good idea to do some investigating into the plugin, right? Like there's always three things that I look for if I'm thinking of using a plugin. One is the number of users, like how many other WordPress users are using this plugin. And you can always see that, like when you go to the WordPress plugin list, like it'll show you how many sites have that plugin installed on it, right? So I'm always looking for that. I always look at the reviews of the people that have installed the plugin and what they think of it, not just the good reviews, also the bad reviews. Doing a quick review of those can really help you. And then I always go to check when was the last time the plugin was updated, because that's really important. A lot of, you want to be using plugins that are updated regularly, right? And a lot of plugins come and go. So those are three things that you can look for on there.
When you see the last updated in 2012, that's when you know to run away.
Yeah, you probably don't want to use that one, right? Yeah. Yeah, spam posts can get pretty annoying. David sharing some good ones. Check the thread for this. People are sharing some good tools in there. You can get in there as well. Sandy says, if you hire a outsourcer like from Fiverr and you don't have LastPass, you might want to change the user and password after the. Yeah, exactly, Sandy. Exactly. And that's just an old school way to do it, but I've done that before as well, right? Now we keep them kind of like compartmentalized. That way it's easy when people come, because sometimes we need to bring somebody onto the team for a specific job, but they're not a long-term hire. They're just on to do a specific thing. So we want to be able to easily give them access and take things away, stuff like that. So look, this is a great question. What are the potential conflicts of interest when a marketing agency is also responsible for saying security aspects of a project? And more importantly, do you have to carry extra insurance? So I think that is a great question. And it's very important the way that you talk to your clients about these things, right? you know, we usually say things like, we do standard stuff to help protect you against hackers and things like that. But there's no guarantee. Like we always tell them, there's no guarantee you won't be hacked. Like it can still happen. We do follow industry best practices, right? But you just want to be clear in your communications with them. Like, look, we can do the industry best practices to set things up so that the chances of that happening to you are diminished. But there still is a chance that it could happen. And if that does, then, we may need to get a hold of somebody that specializes in that or somebody more detailed. It also depends on what information they're trying to protect, right? Don't go out and tell people that are collecting credit card information and storing customer financial information that you can help them with security, right? Like, we don't want to get involved in that. So that is really where, like, things like the Swift insurance and things like that are really around that kind of stuff when you're holding clients' personal data, right?
I mean, Tom, I don't know if you guys have the same thing in the US. Obviously, we have like data protection laws in the UK, and I don't know if it's the same thing, obviously. So you do need to be a little bit wary of that sort of thing.
Yeah, they do. So they are starting to bring more of those to the US.
Got you.
What is the big one that you have there?
GDPR.
Yeah, GDPR. Right. Yeah, GDPR. Yeah. So GDPR is not all over the US yet, but it is in Europe and things like that. So you do want to be aware of what that kind of data stuff is and how you handle that. It really is dependent upon the business to make sure they're doing everything they can to protect customers' personal information. So, the business itself would want to have insurance in case something like that happens. But I can't get into all that here. Like when we were looking into Swift insurance, I wanted my head to explode. Like there's so whenever you're dealing with anything like that, right? There's so many ins and outs and little things that can make a huge difference. Like if you're dealing with a client that has that kind of stuff going on, my advice to you is to find a security expert, a real security expert, and bring them in. The client may kick and scream and think like, oh, we don't want to spend the money, but like it'll cost them more if they have an issue. So, just make sure, and I love this question because this is a really good point to remember. We do just want to make sure that we're not representing more than what we can do. And we want to make sure we're covered, like we don't want to be telling people that, oh yeah, nobody will hack your site. And, oh yeah, all your customer data will be good, right? Like if we see that they're storing customer data, we want to make them aware of what is required by them, right? So look, if you guys are going to be storing customer data, you should be doing this, this, and this. You should really find a security expert. You should hire somebody to look at this and make sure you're covered, right? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a security expert. I know the industry standards. I can help you do some basic things, but like you're going to want to get official help. So I hope that helps with this question. Yes. Let me look through these questions here. Yeah, David said, yeah, most WordPress vulnerabilities are from plugins that are not well maintained. So choose your plugins carefully. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, and yeah, Dorn. Dorn is right on the money here. The most common WordPress hack is an SQL injection. And so SQL is the database that WordPress runs off of, right? The second is a low-level access and then escalating privileges to access the new server. Sometimes you can just, when you log in, you might notice a new user. That's usually a bad sign if you didn't create it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I agree with David on this too. I know like when you're doing client projects and your focus is on, profitability and things like that, it can be very, very tempting. It can be very tempting because everybody's out there talking about all the free plugins, all the free things you can do. Some of that stuff is really great. I'm always very leery of plugins that are free, especially if it's a site that is important, so whenever I'm building a site that I know is important for a client or for myself or something like that, like I always up to do the paid versions of the plugins because it's just worth it. It's just worth it.
I think, Tom, sometimes it goes the same said for hosting providers as well. Like sometimes you can find kind of a little bit cheaper but ropey looking hosting providers that, just don't really have the same level of security and even uptime as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know it's very alluring, right? You're like, oh yeah, I can do all this stuff and I don't have to pay for any of these things. But like there's a downside to that, right? Oh wow, David said he found somebody that's good at disinfecting sites. That's great, David. That's great. So Jackie said she's lost clients because they didn't look after their websites after she handed them over. Nothing was ever updated, etc. Then they went with someone else because they thought my websites were vulnerable. I no longer sell websites without at least a minimal security package in place. Jackie, that is great advice, right? Like, yeah, great advice. And two, a part of this is what we were talking about earlier, which is your communication with clients. Like we're very upfront with our clients, especially when the site is finished. Like, look, we usually have a wrap-up meeting with a client, and we tell them things like, look, WordPress needs to regularly be updated. You need to have somebody on your team that's doing that. Like, if you don't do this, it can cause problems. Like we spell it out very clearly for them so that they know if something happens, it's not because of something we did, right? Not because of something we did.
Exactly.
Man, we're getting a ton of
just keep coming.
Yeah, they keep coming. Yeah, Sandy, e-commerce is a different beast. Cybersecurity is big business in there. So, like if you're doing an e-commerce site, I would recommend them to somebody that specializes in that kind of thing and not even touch that, right? And yeah, absolutely. That's why you should price your projects quarterly and also have a price set up for vulnerabilities like this. Yeah. Let me take a look here. Yeah, this is great. I mean, obviously, I would probably run that if I had a friend that was an attorney or something, run that by them just to make sure, will this cover me? But we had another layer of protection to your website, but due to change technology, we can't offer any guarantee. That's where you want to make sure you're clear on that, right? You may even put that in your website contracts, right? While we do our best to make sure industry standards are being met for the security of your site, there's no guarantee, things are vulnerable, that type of stuff. We're not held responsible. That deal bump at 12 pages of small print. Patty said, we're certainly enjoying listening to your accent. Maybe they want you to talk more and me to shut up, Charlie. It was so funny. So, Patty, when Charlie and I first got on a Zoom call, we were getting on our first Zoom call, and at first he was muted, and I was like, I can't hear you. You're muted. And then he unmuted and he started talking, and I was like, something's still wrong with your audio. And he was like, what's wrong with it? I was like, I don't know. You have a real weird accent. I can't quite figure out what's going on. He was like, wait a minute.
He had me on.
Always putting everybody at ease. That's my job, right?
Exactly, Tom. Exactly.
Yeah. Right out of the gate. I just started right out of the gate. No warm up, no nothing. This is what you're in store for. I'm looking on here. I see tons of great stuff in here. Yeah. Well, look, these are lots of great questions. I know, we actually get a report. One of the plugins that I don't know if it's through our hosting account. I don't know if it's through a hosting account or a specific plugin that we have on the site, but we actually get a report that will show, and some of the security plugins I know do this. They will alert you if your site comes under attack. Like there's all of a sudden just a lot of logins. What do they call that? A brute force attack?
Yeah.
So they will alert you when those kinds of things are starting to happen. We also get that with some of our websites. Like we'll get a report if activity seems unusual, right? So you can keep that on there as well. So I don't know, David. I have no idea on that. Dorn says that he posts weekly updates on WordPress abilities from iThemes in the group. Let me take a look. So somebody was asking about, just said weird accent, is he from Alabama? That's so funny that you say that, because my only joke when somebody has a foreign accent is, that's the joke I always say. I always, like, sometimes when I'm playing poker, you know, there'll be a lot of people from other countries here. And like, if they're from England or something, I'll go, you know, I couldn't help but notice your accent. Are you from Kentucky? And it always gets a big laugh, but that's my only joke. So I've never heard anybody else use it, and Jeff is using it. It's great.
I haven't. No, I've never.
Yeah, somebody asked if I could clarify the price. So look, if you're interested in picking up the website security blueprint, you can actually just go to this link right here. Let me put this in, and I want to check this out for them, and then we will wrap up another successful live show, Charlie.
You know it. With your skill, your skill with technology, as it's been for this last hour.
Technological wizard, I am not. That is for sure. It's going to take a minute for this to pull up.
No problem.
So yeah, if you go to offlinesharks.com /get secure. So secure will show you the training, but if you go to this link, get secure, you'll end up here on the website security blueprint page. And I'll just tell you a little difference here. So the course itself is $97, right? This is an order bump that we have with some additional bonus stuff that we can do. So this is an additional $29. So just to clarify for that. So just to get website security blueprint, $97. If you want this additional stuff, you don't need this stuff, by the way. These are just some things that additional sales and marketing materials and things like that we added in here as well. Let me look at this. Cameron. I'm going to have Cameron look at this, because I don't know if that's right. Cameron, I don't know if you're on here, but take a look at that buy pages. So is this what we... oh, yeah. So the bump is a free software. Gotcha. Yeah. So we have a software called SSL Sniper that identifies sites without SSL certificates. And so with this $29 bump, you get that software included, and then you get all of these additional things. We use SSL as a foot in the door, right? So if we can identify a site that doesn't have SSL, we'll let them know, like, hey, you don't have SSL, we'll offer to fix it for free or at a low price, and use that as a foot in the door to do other services. So yeah, so that's what that is. So I hope that helps you clarify that. So website security blueprint, $97. If you want the additional software and marketing stuff, it's just $29, and you just check that box right there. So awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Tom, I've got to say, foot in the door services. I mean, I've got to respect it, because it's one thing I wish I knew when I first started my agency. I always went straight for the big ask, and I wish I realized, you kind of got to work your way up to that with a lot of people.
It definitely makes the process a little easier, right? Especially when you're coming in cold.
Exactly.
When you're coming in cold and you don't have a lot of, if you don't have a lot of credibility behind yourself, we found those little type foot in the door things really help overcome that. So we do a lot of that stuff just because we found that to be an easier process than just trying to go in hard. So
for sure.
Dorn says he has foot in the mouth offers. Yes. Yes, you do, Dorn. Yes, you do. Awesome. Well, look, go check out the training. Go to offlinesharks.com /secure. Check it out. The website blueprint security course is awesome. It was put together again by Nick's brother, who is a cybersecurity expert in the military. So like Nick and I didn't hobble this together. Like, honestly, it was a lot of the information in there was new to us. So we had an expert do it. We had them put it together. You can get it right now for only $97. If you want to pick it up, just go to offlinesharks.com /get secure, and you can grab it there. Look, it's the end of the show. Charlie, thanks so much for coming on and hanging out. Guys, keep an eye out for Charlie in the group. If you have questions about, things that we talk about on the live show, or maybe you, hear about something that other members are talking about, you're not sure what it is, feel free to tag Charlie in the group, because he can, he's in there pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah, literally, I'm always in there. Feel free to drop me a message as well if there's anything like directly you want to speak about. Feel free to just drop me a message or Messenger. I'll make sure to reply to you.
Yeah, and he's got, he knows where all the stuff is hidden, so he can point you in the right direction and help you out with all that stuff. And we didn't really talk about it on this, but he's also very, very good at sales. So if you have any sales related questions, he's better than I am. I suck at selling, but Charlie, he spent the past couple of years, obviously with his own agency, but also just getting better with his sales skills and his marketing ability and all that stuff. And which is one of the reasons why we brought him on the team, because we were super impressed. And I think you will be too. So if you guys have any questions about, anything we have at Offline Sharks or Remote Millionaires, or you just have some questions about selling or anything like that, feel free to tag Charlie, drop him a message. You'll see him in the group making posts and things like that. So awesome. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us this week. Oh, wait. We have one more thing to do, Charlie.
One more thing.
I almost forgot.
Don't forget. Come on.
One more thing.
We can manage this one.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Every week, we like to give out some Cash App money to people that go to the shout outs and comment like, good job, way to go. If you're new to the group, you can always find the shout out post at offlinesharks.com/shout out. But this week's winners are James Juris and Donna Norris. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. Come on.
Congratulations. Yep, congratulations. And Charlie dropped his link in there too in the chat if you want to drop him a direct message. So make sure and check that out as well. All right, guys, listen, thanks for another great Friday Aloha Marketing Jam session. We're going to be back here next week. Same shark time, same shark channel. Charlie, thanks for coming on and hanging out. Really awesome. Look forward to seeing what you got going on in the group. And we will talk to you guys next Friday. Stay safe. Practice aloha, everybody.
Everybody. Thank you very much.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.